Hi and welcome. My name's Melody and this is episode 5 of the Melody Crochet Podcast. This is a knitting and crochet podcast where I discuss what I made the week before, and a lot of times that includes other arts and crafts. Let's see, how are you guys doing? Everybody have some tea? I'm on some chai. I made some chai latte just from Trader Joe's bags. Then I added in some stevia and a little bit of regular milk. Really tasty. And my snack today is from Vanessa at my Creative Garage. I already hit it. It was so good. I guess it's a caramello koala. It's delicious. Get one if you can. That was awesome. Thank you, Vanessa. I'm going to be going through the present she sent me. I love it. We did a swap this last month. So much fun. Actually, it arrived when I had filmed, edited, and then the mail got here. If I hadn't edited, I would have refilmed. I was so excited and I wanted to break into it so badly. But I'm like, oh, not if I have to re-edit. Editing's hard, especially when everybody else is around, and I have to listen really closely to the sound because a couple times I posted and the sound has just been terrible. Once I just let it go. I think the microphone was in my couch, my very, very squeaky couch. It was awkward. But that's where I am. It's been a great week. I hope you guys have had a good week too. Let me know how it was. Pretty much, I found a new mall. It's called Grapevine Mills. If you're in California, it's a lot like Ontario Mills. It's a bit of an outlet mall, and you kind of walk around a big circle. Then you end up where you started again, which is cool. I like that kind of mall. And then there was a big arcade, some outlet stores. They had a rainforest cafe that my littler one wants to go back to on his birthday. And it was just a really good time. We were there for a couple hours. I couldn't find any nearby yarn stores. Whenever I go to a new city, I try and find some yarn stores nearby, and I didn't, according to my Google on my phone, there wasn't anything new to me there, which is a bummer, because I do like to go, and I didn't go to any yarn stores in the last week. I went to Michael's once, but I didn't buy anything. Let's see. We had my son's birthday, my older son, and we went to Korean barbecue. Brought his girlfriend along. We had a great time. We were all so stuffed. Oh my gosh, it was really good. It was so funny. A lot of new to me foods. And there was a Daiso across the way, so I got to go to Daiso. I love Daiso. Got some treats, seaweed snacks, and pretty much I just load up on food there. I love everything there. It's so cute. And sometimes they have some household stuff that's really cute, but for the most part, I'm there for the Asian inspired snacks. It's just so good. I love their candy. Melties and such. Oh, so good. They had a little grocery across the way with some, I think it was a Korean grocery, I might be wrong, and got some snacks there too. And he got rice because one of the things he wanted, he's a cooker, and he wanted a rice cooker. So along with his birthday presents, he got a rice cooker. So he needed some rice. He got a big old bag of rice. I'm like, you can get that yourself. Mommy doesn't eat rice. Eat a little rice, not a bunch. Usually brown. He wanted white. So I'm like, nope. If you're going to be making that, you can get that yourself. I'm a terrible person. And then aside from that, we've been enjoying the summer. We had a couple of doozies of a storm. It was just rain coming out of nowhere. It was hilarious. But with it went away the humidity. So while we're still a little mucky, because it's super hot, I think we're about 95 today, for the most part, the misery of it is all past. Pretty comfy for the most part here at 95, and it'll probably stay this way through July. Hopefully it won't get too hot. Usually late July, early August is when it starts getting really toasty. So that being said, what are you guys up to? What's new with you? Leave something in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. What are you making? Okay, any cows? If you guys have any cows that I don't mention, please let me know about them. I love cows, especially on Ravelry or Instagram. I never hear about the Instagram cows. I heard a lot of people do cows just through Instagram. I never hear about those. I must just be in the wrong circle for them. I'd love to. And some people have mentioned some online knitting groups. I imagine they do that with crochet also, where you just kind of all log in and somebody's on YouTube live. I'm not sure how that works, but that's an awesome idea because we have some knitting get-togethers here, but And then 6 o'clock on a weekday is that's like my busy time, because we got the dinner, getting ready for the next day. It's getting close to bedtime. I don't think I could take off at 6 o'clock at this point, just the way life is, you know? And that's why I meet my friends here, where it's convenient. Hey guys. I do love the yarn community. It's a pretty awesome place. So, let's see. I'm trying to figure out what order I should do this in. I think I'll start with my whips first. Nope, I'll do my finished objects. Okay. First, finished objects. I went and did a test knit. She did it's a cowl, fingering weight, called Willow Fall, and I finished. It went really quickly. Isn't that pretty? It says Malabrigo sock in light of love, and I thought I was playing yarn chicken. I also thought I was ruining this lace pattern, but it survived me somehow. It wasn't complicated, although you do have to pay attention every row. This isn't something you could just do and learn a couple rows and repeat it forever. You have to pay attention throughout the entire process because the lace changes so much. It kind of gets shorter in the back, longer in the back, depending on how you would say that. And therefore it keeps changing. So you couldn't just like learn a couple lines and then walk away from the pattern, but it is simple. It's only a simple handful of stitches, so anybody could totally pick it up if they gave it a couple minutes to learn the stitches. But there was one particular decrease that decreased 2 stitches, and I kept mixing it up with a decrease that was only 1 stitch, so I would fix it up on the next row. And I thought that might show in the pattern, but no, it survived me pretty well. And I made it on my Nova Platinas. I did a size 5, which is a size down from what she suggested. And I did do kind of a shoddy job of my blocking, which you'll notice I still have a string, just one. I weaved in the other one because I might try and block it a different way, because she suggested blocking it a different way and I didn't notice that. So I might do it that way and see if it takes care of my little pointy. And she said that blocking it the way I did might make it roll outward, which, I don't know. I don't mind so far. So far I like it. And that's what she said. As long as I like it, that's all that matters. But my whole point to it was over tank tops. Something light. Just for modesty, you know. It works pretty well for that. I'm quite pleased with it. I think everyone should make one. Pattern will be out soon. I'll let you guys know when it's out. But I love it. Very pretty. She did a great job, and she's a good pattern writer. She was so helpful, and afterwards she was trying to figure out ways she could help people even more, but I thought it was just pretty well done all by itself. So that's where it landed. And I'm so glad I got to use that yarn. It was a big stash buster, trying to take part in Stash Dash 2017, and I can do it. I can definitely take a chunk out of the yarn that I have. I found another pattern that I want to get started. I'll talk about it in my dream knitting, but it's going to eat up quite a bit of yarn too, so that's cool. And my second finished object is my shawl. I started it when I was procrastinating my fade, and there she is. Isn't she pretty? I made this out of, I love this yarn and cotton, and it's so light and so open because I went up a yarn, I went down a size of yarn and I went up a hook, so it's really open and really light and great for exactly what I wanted it for. Just putting it over tank tops and shorts or over sundresses. I'm gonna live in this all summer long. I love it. It gives me no warmth at all, which is exactly what I wanted. I just want some shade, not some warmth. Oh, I should say, I'll come back to this. I thought I was playing yarn chicken. I was really stressed out because this yarn ball shrank so much within the first half of my cowl. And I didn't weigh. I was afraid to weigh. I'm like, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I made plans for if I run out. That's all that matters, right? But I still have 30 grams of yarn left. I must have just had it really loosely wrapped on the outside, so it shrank a lot in size of the yarn ball, the first half. And then it's probably more densely wrapped on the inside. And I wrapped this ball myself, so no harm, no foul. But this is more than enough for heels, toes, and cuffs, probably for 2 socks, or 2 pairs of socks. And I love the color. It's awesome, and it's hardly bled at all. And for a hot pink to hardly bleed is magical. Awesome. So then back to my shawl. I love this cotton. I was in the store, Hobby Lobby, and I saw this deep turquoise and hot orchid, and I love the way they look together. The rest is from Stash, Royalty, I think it's called turquoise. I believe so, I'd have to double check. And black, of course. I used more of the deep turquoise on the edging, which I love her edging. I actually did that edging in bed in low light while watching Carpool Karaoke. What is it? I think it's Carpool Karaoke. I forget, that one where people have famous people sing in the cars. I tell you, I should stop caffeine early because I am just nocturnal if I have late caffeine. I think that was one of those nights I had some green tea, iced tea too late, and I was up till like 2 o'clock finishing this shawl. I just was not going to sleep until it was finished. And I slept like a rock. I sleep really well. And if I put down the yarn and make myself go to bed, I go to sleep. It's just a little caffeine and I am fueled to stay awake as long as I want and enjoy the yarn. It's terrible because the next day I sleep in and I feel like half my day's gone and I whine about it. So I need to get myself to bed earlier. This is, did I mention chai tea? Trader Joe's. I love it. I had a little milk and some stevia. That was the last yarny thing that I finished, which I love. I love this shawl. Isn't it beautiful? Did I mention that I have almost 200 followers? And did I mention that when I do get 200 followers, that Aaliyah from The Little Bee, I follow her on Instagram, and she's obviously from New Zealand because her name is The Little Bee NZ. And she's one of the few people that I have notifications for when she updates, because when she comes out with a pattern, I'm going to want to know about it. And so and it shows me, and I always think it's the Little Beans. So it's The Little Bee NZ, New Zealand. But she's just, her colors are beautiful. And I asked her permission to buy one of the copies of the pattern to give away to celebrate, because this was pretty well received for me on Ravelry and on Instagram where I shared it. So I figured I'd share it with you guys. It's a really fast shawl. I mean, it's really rare. I made this in a day and a half of crochet. It goes really fast. I don't want to give anything away, but that's not a double crochet. That's bigger than a double crochet. Okay? I don't know if I'm saying too much. It's a paid pattern. So this goes really fast. And it's not a little shawl. This goes all the way down. It's so fast to make. And that's why I've made 4 of them in different color schemes and as gifts. I love this shawl. I love making this shawl. It's a lot of bang for your buck for yarn too. It doesn't take a bunch of yarn. This was only 2 balls of the deep turquoise, and everything else is pretty much just scrap. You hardly use any of the colors for the rest of it. So I am a big proponent of this pattern. I figured it would be a great giveaway to celebrate my first milestone, which is going to be the 200 subscribers. Thank you so much, guys. And so I got a hold of her. I am jumbling all over myself. I was so excited. Tea. But I like to ask permission whenever I mention anybody. And I asked if it was okay if I gave away one of her patterns, and she was nice enough to donate it. So when I hit 200, hopefully That'll be pretty quick. I'm going to do a post. We can go ahead and start now. I'm going to place a post on the Ravelry group, which is linked below. And then go ahead and look and see the person above you. Now for number 2, they're going to look at my things. Just look at something I made and let me know if you liked something, what you liked, or if you liked a certain color or something. And then the person who posts after that person, look at the poster above you and look at what they made. See if what they have made doesn't inspire you, or if you like it especially compared to the other ones, and just pop a compliment for the person above you. Is that okay? I hope that works out. It's not too complicated. It doesn't sound complicated. I hope I described it well though. I'll describe it again in the post, and I will link that below, and I will do random number generator, and somebody will win a copy of the Sunday Shawl by Aaliyah at the Little Bee, New Zealand. And if you don't win, buy it anyway. It's a fabulous pattern. You will use it time and time again. It is so pretty. So, moving on. And thank you again, Aaliyah. So awesome of you. So generous. Isn't that sweet of her? So that was my last yarny finished project. And the reason it's my last yarny finished project is because of sewing, which I have since discovered I do not like. Sewing is not for me. And I've known this for a long time. I sew for a night and then I don't like it. It's kind of like a whole lot of weaving in ends, which I don't like at the end of a project, but at least you have the knitting part and the crochet part, which I love. Sewing is like a knitting or crochet project without the knitting and crochet. I like fabric, but I should just, if I collect it, I should just send it away and ask somebody to make me a thing from now on. I know that I could become a better sewer. I just don't enjoy the process enough to put the time in, and I really respect you guys that do. So I'm gonna leave it to you guys. But I did finish some stuff. I'll go through it quickly. This is a skirt. It has pockets. I love that fabric. Pretty much, I love all this fabric. That's why I kept it. And I made this one, which I didn't love the outcome as much. I think I like it as a bag more than anything. Also has some pockets in it, which is cool. Got this one too. Also has a pocket. I love that fabric. That's actually dark purple. I got this forever ago. It was going to be curtains in my kitchen about 2 houses ago. But I bought a ton of it, so I figured I have a bag and a skirt. And I made some shorts with this as a pocket. These are like jammy shorts. But I made a little patch pocket and sewed it on the side of my shorts. I love that. These don't fit great. They're a little tighter on the hips and loose on the waist and the legs, so they're kind of weird. I'm not sure how to describe the look, but it's not extremely appealing, but they do fit. And they'll be good for jammy pants, and that little patch on the side totally makes up for the not fitting well. I love the crocheted patch. Another pair of jammy shorts with teacups. I actually cut pockets out for this and forgot while I was sewing it. So frustrating, because it would have been great to have pockets in these. I guess I could rip them out, but I'm putting that evil machine away for a while. And just in case anybody wonders, I've been sewing for a long time. This is like my 4th sewing machine. I just don't like that evil machine. I haven't liked any of them. I'm gonna leave it to other people, and I'm so glad that everybody has found sewing and loves it so much and finds it rewarding. That is so cool. But I'm gonna stick with yarn. I love yarn. Every minute that I was sewing, I wished I was holding yarn. I made 2 other things. I love this fabric. Check out this fabric. I love vintage campers and I love VW buses. So this was like right up my alley. but I accidentally made it upside down. In my hurry to be done sewing, right? This is paracord. It's just a simple there's no lining fabric, duck cloth drawstring bag. But I made 2 of them. Oh, other random skirt. I like this one. It has pockets. I love those colors. It's kind of a moody floral with the deep colors and the black background, and this one has pockets too, and I will definitely get some use out of this. But in addition, I have a second camper bag. This one did turn out right, which is cool, and it's bigger. This is probably enough to hold 3 skeins, probably 2 large balls of yarn if I'm crocheting, and I really like it, so I'll get a lot of use out of this. So this is my sewing, and I am so glad it's over. So glad it's over. And I'm so glad I have the people that love sewing in my life. And I appreciate you guys so much because I don't want to do that anymore. Another finished object, something I do like to do. I love to draw. And I'm doing a little swap with Nina. I hope I pronounce this right. I call you Ine. I hope I'm saying that right. But yeah, she likes Doctor Who and a couple other things. I did some stocking. And I painted this for her. It's fabric paint. I'm hoping she'll like it. I made a little mistake. I've watched Doctor Who. I know it should say police and box, but it says police box twice. Hopefully she won't mind that. And it's just a little canvas bag. I paint canvas bags like crazy. But she had called out asking if anybody knew where you would get, ooh, where'd they go? Here they are. Keys or potion bottles. She wanted some progress keepers that would be in keeping with her Harry Potter themes. And I found some keys for her. And I thought they were so cute. So I'm going to make them into progress keepers and send them on their way. And we figured we'd do a little swap. So I'm collecting some other things for her. But I always like to put some handmade things in there. So I painted her the bag, and hopefully I'll be going out and about tomorrow and see if I can find anything good for her that I could throw in there. Get myself a flat rate box and just go to town. Probably not bags though. I'm not sewing. She's a good sewer. Check out her bags. She's with the This Old Knit podcast, and her bags are awesome. Fabric choices are awesome. Her colors are completely different from mine, and I actually really like that because I'm so stuck in my ways that sometimes I'll look at a yarn and I'll just be like, oh, no, not for me. Actually, I won't even look at the yarn. I pretty much just have my eye go to the colors I love, the greens, blues, oceany colors. I painted that. That's why it's green and blue and oceany. I'll have to show that sometime. But I love the greens, blues, purples, and cool tones, and she seems to have some warmer tones and some yellows and stuff that wouldn't draw me. And I look at her finished objects and I'm just like, that's so pretty. And the colors she chooses for her shawls that she puts together, I wouldn't do that for myself. And that's why I love podcasts, because I wouldn't think of these color combinations, and it really opens my eyes to new color combinations, which is fabulous because I have a bunch of undyed yarn and it all likes to be dyed. So that's on my desk because I'm putting together some colors and seeing what I have available. I had a big party with all my yarn, all the sock weight yesterday, because I want to make a mixology shawl, and that's 5 colors and they mix together. So I'm not exactly sure how yet. I haven't bought the pattern, but I see that they are overlapping. They're at least striping, if not actually knit together. And so I need 5 colors that are gonna look good together. And I know that not all of that is going to be in my stash. I did make some hot pink. This I blame Vanessa for. She showed this hot pink in her shawl, and I just broke out the hot pink and dyed it. I don't know if I've showed this already, but I was hoping this would somehow get into my mixology. We shall see. So, speaking of Vanessa, I filmed my last podcast. I edited it. If I hadn't already edited it, I would have remade it. Then I got the mail and her package was in there. We swapped. Oh my gosh, this bag. Look at them. Look at this. And her construction. It's perfect. I sound like a commercial. I like her tags too. They match. I mean, do you have those in every color, or are they always just this color and they just look good with this particular bag and I got lucky? Because that's beautiful. Okay. And it has a handle so I could hook things to it. Okay. But I love purple and turquoise, and she heard that and made this, and it's beautiful. Look at the purple. Okay, enough cooing. I'm going to talk like a big girl now. She sent me tea. I love it. I can't get Australian afternoon tea here, and they kind of traipse it in front of me everywhere I look. I don't know why. I'm probably the only person that has had this paraded in front of them, like in 4 different places, and I'm like, I want to try that, and the only way I can get it would have been on eBay, and the shipping is outrageous. I'm talking like $15 for a little box to have it shipped for me, and I didn't know if I liked it. If you know you like something, maybe, but if you don't know you like it, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to pay that much for shipping. So I just never did. I put it on my Pinterest and my wish list, and I told her, oh, I would love some Australian afternoon tea, and she sent me 2 of these. I've already broken well into the first one. I really like it. It's strong. I ordered Twinings from the UK, and they send me all those cool UK flavors, but Australian afternoon, of course, is not available from the UK website. She sent me this cute bag. We kind of wanted to send things themed from our area. Check that out. Sorry about the crinkle. Aren't those adorable? I'm gonna put those on my canvas bags. And looky, isn't that pretty? Little progress keeper. It's dancing. Stop dancing. Isn't that pretty? And she has awesome bags. I mean, awesome cards. Ooh. I love that blue-green. So pretty. Thank you so much, Vanessa. But there was a reason. See, first I fell in love with some yarn, and I said, I can buy it or we can swap, and we decided to swap, and I'm so glad we did. But the yarn, oh my gosh. There are no words, Vanessa. There are no words for how magical this is. Do you see the glitter, that stuff? Wait, look at the shimmer. It says 5% stellina. I think the percentage is higher in this game. Look at that hank. It's magic. It's turquoise and purple and hot, hot pink, and I love it. And it is called Unicorn Yarnachino, just like the unicorn frappuccino that Starbucks was making. I didn't get one, so I made one. Did you guys see my DIY one? But looky, matching heels, toes, and cuffs, and it's shimmery too. It's been so hard for me not to cast these on. These are going to be socks on zeros. I'm thinking, I believe they're called sugar frost socks, but it has a little bit of a texture, but it looks really simple as far as the pattern goes. I downloaded the pattern. I'm ready to get started. It's going to be on zeros. These are so pretty, and it's so soft and squishy. My friend Amanda was like, I love that yarn. And I'm like, me too. I love it. Oh my gosh, it matches my nails. Okay, I'm gonna put it down now. But I loved it so much, and when I got it, I wanted to re-record so I could break into it right away. But I said, no, I've already put everything away and edited, and I can wait. She also sent me a caramello koala. She sent 2. The other one, I don't know, something happened to it. But they're delicious. I have boys, so things happen to candy. I had to hide that. And I had to put it in the fridge because Texas. It's, even though we're air conditioned, we have, it's just, things just melt here. I don't know why. Look at my card she sent. It's my new spirit animal. She said they're called galahs, G-A-L-A-H. I might be butchering the pronunciation. And that these are all over in Australia. And I could not imagine going outside and seeing one of these birds, because that is just magical. So pretty. We have doves all over, which are gray birds. They don't look anything like this. They're nice though, but awesome. And I so enjoy getting to know you better. Thank you so much, Vanessa. So that was pretty much the end of what I got this week. I did get my Ipsy bag. Do any of you know about Ipsy? Michelle fan? It's a makeup thing. You tell them a little bit about yourself, what you like and such, and they send you about 5 little products once a month, and it's $10. It's so cute. But they also send a bag, which is always awesome. So this is my new Notions pouch from Ipsy. See the polka dots? I love polka dots. See, I love polka dots. Boop. Pretty awesome. So that is it for new stuff for me. And we got through my finished objects. I didn't start much new. I didn't get much done on anything but my finished objects. Sewing really, really ate my life. This is my new one. I finished this. This is my son's size 14 sock that I finished in a week. I'm pretty impressed. Under a week. I think I cast on Tuesday and finished this on Sunday. And I have started the second one. This is Reggie a 6-ply. This is his foot. Like, I did a little sizing thing. And they fit him. He tried it on. It's awesome. I did I want to call it a peacock. I know that's not the right bird. What kind of heel is that? Help me out here, guys. But I did a 1x1 rib, but I did knit through the back loop. I like that better. I went straight for just over 7 inches until I got to the end of the next row. I did a gusset and a rounded toe. Not too rounded, rounder than it would have been. And I used my new twists, the Chalgu twists. I've started my second one. It's a baby. These are the DPNs that I keep in there for when I'm turning my heel. You can do it without using DPNs. It's just so much faster for me to just bust out the DPNs when I'm doing decreases and at the heel flap and such. And I'm really enjoying them. And since they were size 1s, this worked up a lot faster than it would have. Also, so this worked up. This is a pattern for a woman's size socks that I would have, if I made a woman's size socks, used size 0s on. So pretty much doing that gave me a large man size sock because it's sport weight. And I love this yarn. It's so strong. He loves the stripes and it just feels like it'll last forever. It's so awesome. I have my little progress keeper. This is made with love. I have a ton of those. I give them out as gifts when I send things. I like to do that. And I used 53 grams for a sock, which is a lot for me. Usually my socks are about 35 for women's socks. So since it's a tougher sock and it's a larger one for him, 53 grams, I still have 75 grams. So no problem, and I'll have plenty for my blanket. I did a little bit of surgery around the heel because I wanted this to be a nice even transition, and since I lost some at the heel, I had to take out a bunch to get back to that blue. So I did a line so I could restart where that blue was transitioning to the green, and it just made it look a little bit more seamless up front. So you can't tell, but I took out quite a bit of yarn between this blue line and this green line. And it worked out well. I'm very pleased with it. And the next one, well, he'll have it by Christmas. Not like he needs a pair of wool socks right now. But he wanted to try it on. He was excited. He keeps asking me about it. I love that. And here's my tag. Regia 6-footed color, which means 6-ply. The German sock yarn is epically strong. I love it. I have about 6 balls to work through, but I still need more now. I wouldn't mind some in this sport weight yarn for myself. It's really cool. I think I have 1 ball of sport weight yarn for me. I don't know what brand it was. It was a gift. And it's gray, pink, lavender, and light blue. And I really need to get those cast on because I would love to make those for myself. Or as a gift to somebody else. I just want to knit them up in pretty colors that are more girly, just for fun. So that is my hoe for my son. I'm back. Sorry about that. The husband got home, had to get everybody situated, see how he's doing, if he had a good day. Looks like everything went cool. I'm gonna make some dinner in just a little bit. But let's finish up. I'm so excited to share. This is mine so far. I started it last night. I'll finish it up today. So this is priority 1. It's a beach bag. Sorry about the giggling. Darn joyful people. I'm done making this grow. It was a circle. Brilliant patterning. Great size of hook. I actually would have guessed a J hook. I actually did guess a couple things just based on seeing the pattern that she was showing, but she didn't have a whole lot of pictures of the whole bag. So I guess I just started making things up in my mind, as I do. Zines and Rogers podcast, I hope I just said that. Great podcast. She's awesome. You need to go say hi to her. Just get to know her. Watch a few of the episodes or all of them. They're really good. You'll like her. But I guessed a J hook just based on taking a peek at the yarn. And I guessed that it was a rectangle on the bottom. So I started making a rectangle and building the granny up there. Neither of these worked out. It was a very misshapen bag. Didn't work out at all. And the granny was just so open. Turns out she used the mystery hook that does not exist in America. You might be able to buy a 4.5mm hook here, probably pretty commonly. I'm not sure, but it's not one of our letter sizes because we like to do things with the Yarn Council and have the letter sizes. And so this is a G hook. And what are you gonna do? We don't have a 4.5mm hook. I don't have a 4.5mm hook in my stash of hooks. So I went down instead of up because everything was so gapey with that J hook. So I went down to a G hook, which is, I'm gonna say it's 4mm. So I'm missing 0.5 millimeter. And it will make a difference in the size of the bag. Hers is probably gonna be a bit bigger than mine, but not a ton bigger. I mean, this looks pretty spot on. And she was working in a circle, which makes sense in the end. Just looked like a rectangle to me from the side, but it's working up great now. I probably lost about 20 minutes of crochet, just kind of ad-libbing as I was watching a podcast. And I'm like, maybe I should take a peek at this actual pattern. So I did, and I'm glad I did. I'm liking putting this together, and I'm liking the size of that granny on a G hook. The openings are nice. This will probably get lined. I have been lining bags a lot. I made this one a few years ago. Also Karen. This is like every color that I've ever seen locally is Karen Simply Soft. And I did a stripe of each with a invisible slip stitch at the end. So you can't really tell where they stop and start. And I ended in navy blue, made some really little straps, which I like during the summertime. And it was starting to get a little misshapen because I put more and more stuff in it as the summer wears on. And I went ahead and lined it. To do that, I just laid the fabric down, and then I laid my bag out I got a Sharpie, literally a Sharpie, traced around the bag, the exact proportions of the bag. I cut along my Sharpie line, and then I sewed about a 1/2 inch inside my cut, so it was a little bit smaller than the bag, but not a lot, so it doesn't warp it when I put things inside the bag. And then I just folded it in about 1/2 inch. I put the liner, boop, boop. I put the bag inside out inside the liner once I turned the liner right side out, and I did a very skinny little stitch all along the edge, and now it's lined, which is fabulous. I need to make a video about that. Somebody asked me how I did it the other day because I was showing them, and I need to make a video. I know that there's a video about all the crochet stuff, and I really rely on that, and I tell people, oh, that's all over the internet, but people are starting to ask more and more, so I think I need to make a couple of little how-to videos of how I do things, because I hate to just like turn people away. It seems so rude, and it'd be so easy just to make some really basic videos. So I'll get to that pretty quick. But back to my beach bag, which is pretty much my purse this time of year. I either use this, my cross the body bag when I'm going some places, or just a great big black canvas bag. And I would like to line my big black canvas bag with some light fabric, because am I the only one that just cannot see inside of a black bag? It's just, things just go in there. It's like the black hole. Things just go in there and you just don't see them again for a while. But this will be lined too. And I'll just fold it in half, go through the same process as the other one. I like to line my crochet bags. She's using hers as a beach bag. It makes sense for her to keep hers open, but we don't really have a beach here, so I don't have to worry about sand and stuff getting inside. This is going to hold, the towels and the blankets when we're going to the pool, and it's lovely. This is the fairy cake colorway, and I really love it. I have another one back there where Dobby was. I was talking about Dobby, so I brought him out. This is Dobby. Isn't he cute? I believe it was the Legacy Knit Stuffy Along I made him. So he sits on top of my bookcase. I made him a little Dobby outfit out of an old not a washcloth, like a dish towel, the ones you would embroider. So a thin cotton. And he just sits up there with a sock that I'm knitting all the time in this little bowl that a friend made me. Making his own socks. Dobby's independent. He don't need no man. Right? Okay. Anybody else think it was the saddest thing in the world when Dobby died? Oh my god. I was a mess. I was literally a mess when Dobby died. But as it were. So I'm making my bag. I'm digressing to Dobby. I'm sharing all of my secrets of my slobbery mess. Let's get to my yarny story. I basically learned to crochet when I was very little, maybe 8, 9, and I liked it very much. But a friend started the blanket for me. It was a big old granny square, one of those ones that just get bigger and bigger, and you just kind of pick up a new yarn when you run out. And she started it for me, so I couldn't have told you how to start it, and the only stitch I knew was double crochet in a granny. And I worked on my blanket, and it was of course misshapen, because who can figure out where to turn when they're at that age. And then I didn't do anything with it again because I didn't know how to start a blanket. So once we finished the blanket, I didn't know what to do. So we didn't have the internet, and I didn't think to grab a book because I was 8, 9 years old, and so I just didn't do it anymore. And then when I was pregnant with my first son, my grandmother told me that if you don't make the baby something, they won't come. Which, of course, babies will be born anyway. I knew that. But my family, you make something for babies before they're born. And so she made my son a few things. But she wasn't around. She wasn't with us when I was pregnant with my second one. So knowing that I had to make him something, I picked yarn. And I learned to crochet with YouTube, mostly with Crochet Geek, and a few others would pop up, but Crochet Geek is who stands out in my mind, and the one that I followed best as far as the camera angles and such. I like the black background. It just spoke to me a little bit more clearly. And so I stuck with it, and I have not stopped crocheting since. And that would be 9 years ago. Ooh, no, 8.5 years ago. And I have been a prolific crocheter ever since. And maybe 5 years ago, I tried knitting, but the only knitting I knew was English knitting, and I just could never muster that until I was watching another YouTuber called Hectanuga1, and she showed me the continental knitting, where I could hold my yarn in my working hand. Well, my working yarn hand was my left hand, and that's the same as I do with crochet. I could even hold my tension the same. The wrong way, if you're learning to crochet or knit, do not hold your tension with your yarn going through your finger like this, like I do, because does that look like circulation? It's not circulation, but it's the way I do it. Everybody knits and crochets differently, and if I start a project with my finger straight and just wrapping the yarn around, then I'm okay. But you can't change how you hold tension in the middle of a project, so if I start it one way, I kind of have to stick with it that way, or else it's going to be pretty shoddy looking. So I started with a baby blanket for my little one. It was a stroller blanket, and it was awesome. I was just amazed that I made him a really simple little crocheted newborn sweater and a really simple little hat. And about then, I made a couple of toys for him, and it was awesome. I just was addicted more and more and more. And it was all Karen Simply Soft. That's how I got all the colors. Ooh, I hear noises out there. People startled me. So I picked it up from there, and I continued on, and I began to sell things because I started making hats, and my big claim to fame was my baby hats. I made quite a few of them, and then I did mommy baby hats where they matched one another. I did name hats where I would use tapestry crochet and crochet the names of babies inside the hats, and I probably made 50 of those. Then I moved on to bearded beanies. There was one Christmas I made probably 75 bearded beanies. Then I realized that making hats probably wasn't the best thing for me, and I started making the patterns. So I made several patterns, and most of my patterns have been free up until now, and I just kind of moved on from there. I pretty much, after learning to knit, I think that was about 2 years ago when I learned from Hectanuga how to do continental knitting, and my first project was a sock, and then after that my second project was my frizzen. My first project was colorwork socks, where I knit the heart in the back. My second was my frizzen. This is Bohemia Fibers yarn. Unfortunately, I didn't know that I should get something drapey. I used her regular sock yarn. Awesome colors, but even she would probably say use something drapey for a shawl, right? But I love this, and at least it shows the stitch definition really well. And I was so proud of this, I hung it right up on my wall where it lived for quite a while. And unfortunately, I found expensive yarn, because when you're crocheting, yarn from the craft store works out, but when you're knitting, all of a sudden a whole new world of yarn opens up. And then I found out that I could dye my own yarn. So I started dyeing my own yarn. So I am pretty happy to live in my yarn realm, where I have crochet, knitting, the occasional spinning project. I spin a little bit. I have little ones, just little drop spindles. I have a mini one too. This was my very first one. It's so cute. It came with this big bag of fiber. I got it at an alpaca festival. And there's bigger drop spindles. I highly suggest looking into them. It's so fun to make your own yarn. And I'm going to put that down here so I don't make a big old noise. So a little bit of spinning and a lot of yarn dyeing. I love dyeing yarn. I've sold my dyed yarn a few times and I will again, but it's pretty much on my whim. If I get inspired, then I buy a big old bundle of yarn and I dye it up and I go through the process of selling it, and I really enjoy that. But after that, I enjoy not doing it anymore and not dealing with the sales aspect of everything. But if people request anything, of course I dye it up for them. I can't say no. So I like holidays too. So like I think my last one was Christmas. I did a big run of yarn dyeing at Christmas, and I made some bright colors because I love the bright colors. And that is pretty much my yarn story. I never stopped. I love having yarn in my hands. When I don't have yarn with me, I miss it, and I couldn't imagine not having yarn around. I don't know what I did with my hands before 8 years ago. Somebody was mentioning that you should really go through your whips and just free yourself from the ones that you don't think you're going to finish. I'm pretty good about this usually. I have the whips that I've shown, so I won't drone on. I mean, we all know about my sweater. That's a pretty aggressive whip. I'm making it right now. It's my unicorn sweater, but it just hasn't gotten any attention for a couple weeks. I won't be undoing this. This stays a whip. I'm like, fine. And I have my Emma Granny. This might need to be undone. I'm not sure. I saw a new crochet do a sweater very similar that went off the shoulder a bit. It was so pretty. It's a new video of her. If you haven't seen Anu Crochet, go look. She does some really fun projects. Very boho, very cute. And I don't know, maybe I could continue this and just kind of go in that direction, just make it bigger. That's going to mean even more granny. I don't know if I have it in me. We'll see. But that one's going to stay too, because I do like that. I have some whips that are just in bags. My friend made me this felted bag. Isn't that cool? But I have 3 balls of Heartland. Apparently it's been a while. 3 balls of Heartland in this purple that I love. All rolled up and ready to go. And it wants to be a crocheted shawl. I just don't know which one yet. It's worsted weight. I'd love to hear if you know of any really pretty worsted weight crocheted shawls. I just know I need a shawl out of that purple. So I don't know if that counts as a whip, if you've actually just set the yarn aside in a bag waiting to be a project. Does that count? No. And this is really bad. This was a face warmer, head warmer, kind of goes over your head and over your neck, almost like a ski mask, for my husband that he requested, and I still haven't made it. It's out of Patton's classic wool, and I just don't like the way it feels. It's yucky. I mean, I'm not saying it's yucky for everything, it's just in this crocheted form, I don't love it. So I haven't touched it. That might need to be undone. Maybe find a better yarn for the project. I bet I would like it if I had a better yarn for the project, but this has probably been in this bag for 2 years. Okay, we'll take this apart. That's done. Decision made. Now this one, it's from a magazine. And the project is on the front, I remember. Oh, no, it's not. I thought it was. It's from Crochet Today. And that's actually really cute. Maybe I should make that instead. But I decided I needed where's a bigger picture? It's the pineapple tank. And it looks like that. Oh, wow. Oh, wow, we're gonna go dark. Ready? And that's the pineapple tank. And I just thought that was adorable. So I hunted down the yarn, which is several balls of I guess they have luster sheen. Red Heart has luster sheen, and it is, I'm guessing it's a sport weight because they want me to use an F hook, and yeah, an F hook, and it is 100 grams and 307 yards. That sounds a little smaller than sport, doesn't it? I think DK is what, 225? I guess it's about sport. I'd have to double check, but it is fine. Number 2, fine. Let me know if you know what that is. Is that sport weight? And it is 100% acrylic. And I looked really hard for this yarn because we don't have luster sheen. This is actually called baby sheen, which looked like the same makeup of it as luster sheen. So I went with it, and I traveled kind of far to find it. But it's linked double crochets. And that's the front. I've gotten through about that much of it. And this is just the front, so I would have at least this much in the back, quite a bit actually. And the pineapple. Did I do a pineapple? Looks like I started a pineapple. So maybe I do need that. That's actually really pretty. Maybe I should devote myself to this week. It's a linked double crochet. That was slower for me when I had this. This is, let's see, this was a new magazine when I started it. What year was it? Oh my, 2013. That's procrastination at its finest. But you know, maybe I need it. I might have to do that. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can pull this off. How much more do I have? I have 2 balls and that much left of a third. I think I have enough. Let's make it. I'm gonna make a pineapple tank this week. Dagnabbit. I will go ahead and put everything else on hold until I finish it. Let's see if we can't make it. Unless I just decide I don't like it. And if I can't make it this week or can't work on it diligently this week and it bugs me that much, then I'll move on. And I have my speckled space socks, which I've had around since Christmas and I haven't worked on since. So I'm gonna let myself be free of them and use this really pretty yarn for something else. Probably a shawl. It's really squishy and I love that glitter. So that's all for my whips. And I'd like to thank you guys for sitting with me. If you have any questions, social media links are below. Please come and follow me. I'd love to learn more about you. And aside from that, I will be on next week. And if you have any comments or questions, go ahead and post them below. Thanks so much for watching and have a great week, guys. Bye.